Episode 3 of our four-part series of AI live stream language broadcast using OneStream Live. The topic today is chatbots with the show. Our host is Joe Shepherd and his co-host is Susie May. A special guest is Steve me. And if you want to learn about video AI using AI effectively in live broadcasts in iOS. So enjoy the show. Let's go over to Joe.
Forgot to send me music off. I was so excited about two things tonight. One is having the great Stephen Healey on the show, and two, actually working out. Actually, it's a bit like a murder mystery Cluedo tonight. Who's real and who's not real? Here's a thought for you. What if the next time you go live, half your show isn't run by you, but by an actual AI chatbot? Audiences say they want authenticity, but what if an AI could answer the questions faster than you ever could? Certainly faster than I ever could. Well, here's the uncomfortable truth. AI is already running parts of our live streams. The real question is, would you even notice? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome wherever you are on the globe to episode 3 of the AI Livestream Advantage series, brought to you by the industry leaders in professional streaming, OneStream Live. Susie, how are you, lovely? At 5 a.m. Australia, how are you doing?
I'm awake, Joe. I've got my cup of tea, and yes, I'm awake. I'll go. That's as far as I'll go. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm really excited about this episode because I think I've said to you I've followed Stephen Healey for many years and the different trainings that he's done, and I'm so excited to talk to him about this. This new AI, because we're at ground zero at the moment with this stuff, and it's already so good. So it's yes, I'm really excited about what we're going to cover today.
You're right. It is good, but it's a little bit like when the printing press came out or the spinning jenny. There's people, I'm sure, who would like to burn me for even talking about AI. It's not it, sorry. It works out. But there are seriously an awful lot of people out there who are an awful lot of scaremongering, and there are potential issues. But anyway, we look at how we can use it for positive attitudes. So we've been looking at how AI for the last couple of weeks can help prep smarter in live streaming and digital engagement in our shows, in our businesses, how we can strategize quicker, better, giving us more ideas than we ever thought we could. But can AI actually co-host? Can it run your chat? Can it keep your audience buzzing while you're focusing on the basic conversation? Well, that's what we're exploring tonight, and I promise it's going to be a lively one, both here on the show and then afterwards in the groups. I can absolutely see it. It's going to be lively. So join myself and Susie and the great Stephen Healey to come on in a minute. But stay right here for the next 30 minutes because it's the Big Joe Show. And as we all know, Susie,
there ain't no show like the Big Joe Show.
I love it when I don't have to do all of this stuff together on my own. So it's much easier having somebody to bounce off. So here's really the big question that gets us started after the initial hook. Can automation actually enhance the live experience instead of sort of replacing it, really? So again, as we've always said, Suze, humans and AI working alongside, almost like colleagues, think chatbots, AI assistants, whatever you want to call them, really sort of answering the frequently asked questions, being able to translate stuff into different languages, into different regions as the show is live. Avatars co-hosting, is that a thing? Could that be done? Well, have we seen one already? All that stuff actually frees up our brain, but at what cost? Susie, your initial thoughts where we are currently and where we are going.
I love AI. As you know, Joe, AI is one of my rabbit holes that I love to fall down. And the fact that, as I said, we really are at ground zero with this is what excites me the most. I think with any new technology, you're always going to get people who are going to misuse it. we've heard about deep fake and a lot of these other things, which, when you think about, can be quite frightening. But I think because this is still evolving, I think it's something that they're going to, there's eventually going to be things put in place that will make it a little bit more secure, or hopefully a lot more secure, and so that you can use it from a positive angle, and especially for people who aren't, wrapped about jumping in front of a camera, and they think, well, I don't want to do those live streams. They're missing such a huge opportunity, because, you and I spoke about live streaming yesterday, and it is the most underrated tool that we have in our business toolkits, because so many people are scared to get in front of a camera, and to be able to speak to people in a language that they may not be able to actually speak. So they're reaching so many different audiences. But, I think there's good and bad with everything, but I think this is just a very exciting time for, for us, especially as business owners, to be able to have access to these tools, and affordably have access to these tools.
Yeah.
They're not something that's costing us, hundreds of dollars a month. They're very affordable, and if you use them correctly, can be very, very powerful and allow you to grow your business in ways that you probably never thought possible. That's what excites me. That's what I love, playing with and testing and looking more into.
Absolutely. And we've got a perfect guest, as we've said, to show us into the section. Stephen Healey is a name many of you will know. He taught me virtually everything I know about live streaming. He's an Amazon Live creator. He's a live stream educator. He has worked with some of the biggest companies and the biggest players around the globe. And someone who, in fairness to Stephen, at his age, you won't mind me telling him, I think he's 71, 72. He might be even slightly older. Jesus, he's doing park runs faster than I could ever do when I was doing 20 every single week. But he was dealing with AI long before we'd even thought about it. Before I bring him to the studio, though, this is Stephen and him introducing his show Auf Deutsch in German for our friends who are watching over there. Watch this now.
Willkommen zur dritten Folge unserer vierteiligen Serie The EGAI Livestream Advantage Broadcast using OneStream Live. Das heutige Thema lautet: Chatbots übernehmen die Show. Unser Gastgeber ist Joe Shepard und seine Co-Moderatorin ist Suzie Manley. Unser heutiger besonderer Gast ist Stephen Healey. Das bin ich. Wenn Sie mehr über Video-KI und den effektiven Einsatz von KI in Ihren Live-Übertragungen erfahren möchten, dann sind Sie hier genau richtig. Also, viel Spaß bei der Show. Und jetzt übergebe ich an Joe.
And as if by magic, schönen guten Abend, Stephen Healey. Wie geht's gut, all?
Guten Abend, Joe. Guten Abend, Susie. Guten Morgen. Yes. Now, that's what fascinates me. The fact is, I can speak German.
You can.
I can speak French, but not as fluently as the version of me that you saw just now. Now, what you will have noticed is it's similar to my voice, but it's not my voice. If you didn't know me, then you'd accept the voice, okay? But if you do know me, then you're going to tell the difference. And I've been doing this now for 8 months, and it's just changed beyond all recognition. The quality, the lip sync is spot on now. It's perfect. Video avatars are now available and they work. And you can do anything. Anything that you can script can be done as a video avatar. Now, just a caveat in there, big caveat, is that video avatars can't think for themselves and they can only interact slowly. So we are edging close to having a 2-host show with neither host being human, but we're a few years away yet, I think.
Amazing.
What were your thoughts when you first started out using AI? Were you excited about Stephen? Were you skeptical? Were you thinking, well, I'll just see this? Because you've always been at the forefront of leading the way in everything you do. So where did you come at it from, I suppose?
Thank you for that. Thank you for the question. I think that I'm fascinated by new tech. I was there at the start of Be Live. I was there at the start of OneStream. And I always like to be, I don't talk about it all the time, but I like to be first. And I like to find things that other people will find of use and find out how they work. So then I can go off and do a Udemy course and train people how to do it. That's been my way of working for the last 8 years. But the thing that fascinated me was that I could replicate myself. I was saying to Susie a moment ago, but basically to do this, okay, it is not rocket science. It is simple and straightforward. You go to your favorite video recorder, you speak into camera, looking at the camera for 2.5 minutes without wafting your arms about. It's looking at camera.
That's me out.
Oh, you can do it. It's amazing what you can do. I mean, you do it for a minute, you can do it for 2.5 minutes. That then goes through 20 different checks to make sure that the AI is happy with it. So the video is verified. And then that video then becomes the basis of creating your own avatar. Now, as we saw at the beginning of this show, my avatar was used to introduce it. And basically, I recorded the script in my voice so that when you heard and saw me, it was me. It's as close as I can get to me without actually being there. And it just, to me, it works. And as far as video is concerned, in live video, AI can't take over because it's just not flexible enough. It doesn't have emotions. Yeah. We have emotions, and if something annoys us or something surprises us or something excites us, then the tone of our voice changes. Doesn't happen with AI unless you do put a lot of work in. But as far as live video is concerned, there are 4 ways to use AI video. One is as a replacement for yourself. Now, the thing is that if I want to go live at 2 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning, I don't need to be me. I could be an avatar. Yeah, there are ways to do that. But as far as the avatar is concerned, it's perfect. It is me, and you can't get closer. The problem is that video avatars, you can't use them throughout the full show. So what I do, you've got the intro and variations on that. And then you have, if you've got a topic you want to talk about, which you can fit into a 2.5 minute slot, then I do that. And I've got the camera confidence one, which we may see later. I scripted it, and it's spoken by an avatar that's not me. So video avatars can be used to train people. And I know through Bob Tomlin, a Udemy instructor who uses exclusively video avatars in his Udemy training courses. That's the way it's moving, to use video avatars in Udemy courses. The third thing is that you can use it for an outro, and you can use it to pick things up. The thing is, when you're doing a live broadcast, and we do live broadcasts for 30, 45 minutes, you need a break. Yeah. Because to keep talking for that length of time and to keep it interesting and to keep people involved is a skill, which we have, but it's nice just to take a breather for a couple of minutes and let somebody else take over. And if you don't have to bring a friend in, if you can bring an avatar in, that's the best way to do it. And the other thing is to use avatars for promotion. So show introductions, show outros, explainers, and promos, and they are perfectly suited for that because you're actually controlling the situation the whole time, and they're not going to take over. We couldn't automate the 3 of us and just have a chat like this. Technology is not there, but you can use.
It's true, and that's what I said earlier. This is what excites me, is we are at the beginning of this journey, And when you look at the fact that, you know, things like ChatGPT came out 3 years ago, you know, and where it started and where it will start. I know it was before that, but it was made available to us 3 years ago, and where it is now and the capabilities of it now is just so incredible. And, you know, whether that's going to snowball and, you know, we're just going to go from strength to strength in a very, very short space of time. But what I've seen in the changes with these avatars has been incredible. Like that one that we saw of you speaking German was just, it was amazing compared to what you sort of saw 6, you know, not even 12 months ago, 6 months ago. The voices were quite robotic. The movements, the facial features were quite robotic. Whereas I think now they're getting more and more realistic. And, you know, where will that be in 12 months? Where will that be in 5 years, in 10 years? And I find it's so exciting. And as you said, Stephen, if you know, if you use it a certain way, then I think it can do, you know, it can just it can just be nothing but a benefit to what you're doing, and it can make your, you know, your live streaming experience so much better, and it's not just for you but for the people watching you as well.
If just take an example of that, if you're doing your expo at the moment,
yeah,
you could next year be using video avatars in the expo presentations. As far as quick you could actually, the people who are exhibiting, some of those could be avatars. It's just possible. If you don't want to go on camera, you still want to sell the goods, then use a video avatar. We can incorporate it in, and I can see that working down the road. What do you think?
Yeah, it's interesting because I know so many people when they come into when they come in and join my expos, and I say to them, you know, you get so many lives throughout the 4 days, you know, and we always say that's the best way to connect with people and for people to get to know you a lot better. You can see the fear come on their face. They're like, live 30 minutes? What am I going to talk about for 30 minutes, you know? And funnily enough, they're normally the ones that at the 29th minute I'm saying to them, get off, you know. But it's interesting that I think for people who have a real fear of going live in front of a camera, I think it's a fantastic way to ease them into it and, you know, to give them that little bit of confidence while doing that, which I think is, you know, I think it's a great opportunity for so many people. Instead of going, well, you know what, I'm not going to do lives because I don't want to be in front of a camera. I think that opens up a whole new world for them, which I find so exciting.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you can create a video avatar with one photograph. To do it perfectly, and we can see you, Joe. To do it perfectly, you've got the 2.5 minute video. To do it with just a working version rather than the perfect version, you need one photograph, and it's one photograph of anybody with permission. Yeah. And you put that photograph into HeyGen, it will create an avatar, it will give the person a voice. All you're short of then is the script, which as a business owner you should have, shouldn't you?
Sorry lads, when does it ever feel helpful and when does it feel gimmicky though? Because for me at the moment, if it's used correctly, it's not gimmicky. I think it's helpful. I want to play this video that I came across that somebody sent me, and I was really taken with it. Watch it and then we'll discuss. Says that. Look, the gremlin's kicking it. It won't play now. It doesn't. No, the AI bot is taking over and saying, oh, "Listen, you got to face the radio. We don't want to listen to you learn anything." No, so I had to. So it kicked me out. Then I had to refresh. But that's live engagement. That's like, you know, that's why I guess the host. But now I can't. I can't even control my own studio. Oh my word! There'll be people watching this who will say, "Yeah. You know, he talked about the print and press and the spinning Jenny. Yeah, it's taken over already. Is that really Big Joe Shepherd? It is. You know, easy. Big Joe booked off down to a glass of Malbec. There you go.
There's only one Joe Shepherd. I think you're quite safe. Because the thing is, to do it seriously, you've got to create your own avatar, and you won't do it, I know, until you're totally convinced of it, and it's not a gimmick, and it can work. Yeah, I mean, I've been in the studio as well, and you go and press the button, and there it comes. And
exactly.
You sit there.
And I've just tried something else. I'm going to try it again, and I'm tonight's a play around game, because we're talking about technology and what it can do and what it can't do. So I'm going to try a second time. You know why? Because it's the Big Joe Show. Stand by, stand by. No. Stand by. Well, that was a bit of a hype and a build-up, wasn't it? So,
hey, listen, I tell you what, don't feel so bad. I think there must be something. I think the planets must be misaligned at the moment, because my whole day yesterday and the first day of the expo, everything that went wrong. You know, I've been doing live streaming for years, and the platform I normally use, that decided that it didn't want to play nicely. The one that I sort of had my backup, that really didn't play nicely either. I'm thinking, why? Why does this happen? But as you said, you know, that's live streaming. And I think it's not a bad thing when these things happen, because a lot of people who are watching go, oh, yeah, I know exactly how you feel, because that happens to me all the time. And I think that builds a bit more of a connection with the people watching you, because they know that you're not perfect. They know that these things go wrong. But you know what? It doesn't matter. You can still continue getting your message out there and, you know, doing what you're doing. Even if, you know, the gremlins decide to, as I like to say, even if the poo hits the Mistral, you know, you just keep going, don't you? And that's the fun of live streaming.
There we go. For anybody, those people who are watching tonight, so for Gregor, for Natasha McMitson, all of those people there, all your friends in Australia, Susie won't name them all, you're all welcome to tonight's show. I'm monitoring where the stuff is coming in from. Thanks very, very much for all of your support. The big debate time. Susie's going to lead us on this. She's been leading on most of it because I've been out. Human or AI or a hybrid? Susie, the big debate. What do we prefer? What's your choice to start with?
Look, for me, I can absolutely 100% see the possibilities in the AI avatars. And as we said, you know, they're just going to get better and better, and they're going to allow so many people to do so many more things in their business. For me personally, I like connecting with people. I like, you know, as you know, Joe, I can talk under 10 milliwet cement. So I don't have a problem getting in front of a camera. I'm not shy, as you know, and it's something that I enjoy doing. I like connecting. I am a very animated person. So for me, I think someone would probably pick it fairly quickly at the moment with where it's at now, because I don't just sit here and go, hello, how are you, you know, and not move. I am very animated, and, you know, and I come my people in, you know, in the 548 world like to call them my Susieisms, you know, come up with all these different things. But I think I can absolutely see the opportunity for those people, like I said, that don't like getting in front of the camera, or may not have time, or want to do trainings. I think, you know, because doing a live like this is one thing, because, you know, it's us. But when you're doing trainings with people want the information, they want it delivered cleanly. And so I think there's a fantastic opportunity there for AI. So I'm sort of, you know, I'm a bit on the fence. I love being natural. I love being me. I think that's what people connect with when they, or not, you know, and that's fine too. You know, they connect with me when I'm doing my thing. But I can 100% see the opportunities and the advantages and benefits of perfecting these avatars, like we saw of Stephen's, that, you know, when you watched it, you just go, wow, you literally asked the question, is that Stephen or is that Stephen's avatar? And you know, it was a hard pick. I tell you, that was not easy.
I tell you where I think it's going to be really good, and Stephen, I want to bring you in on this, is if you're, one of the most difficult things about being a live streamer is when you're hosting, producing and directing your own show. That is incredibly hard to do. Doing all those buttons when things go wrong, you know, when you're on your own, you got to roll with it. But it is difficult. So surely use of an avatar not maybe for the whole show, but it could take a lot of pressure off if you are the host, producer, director, you know, behind the scenes. I mean, surely that's got to be a smarter way of working.
It would be, yeah. And you can create avatars for different circumstances. So if you were to say, right, okay, I'm going to bring in my avatar now, they're going to talk about a particular topic. That's brilliant. I'm going to bring my avatar now. They're actually going to talk about OneStream Live and why you should be using it. So advertising. There are so many different ways you can actually use it, but there are two problems. And this is just about video AI. First of all, video AI is perfect. Yeah. You cannot tell the join. You can't tell the difference. That really was me. That was my voice. You can't say it's not, because I know it is, and I recorded it. But the thing is that it's perfect. And we are not perfect. So for an avatar to lead a show or co-host a show is a problem. Because people watch a live video because things go wrong. That's a lot of what happens, because this is not TV. We make mistakes. The software makes mistakes. Things go wrong. With an avatar, nothing ever goes wrong. Yeah, because it's all pre-programmed, because it's recorded. An avatar, we've not got to the stage where an avatar is live. You couldn't bring an avatar on screen and say, right, okay, I'm going to ask you a few questions, just respond. It doesn't work. It's too slow. Much too slow. I've got an avatar of me, and you can ask it any question you want about OneStream Live, and it will answer you. And it's answering you with the facts which have come from the OneStream Live site and other sources, and everything it says is 100% accurate. But it's slow. And I asked the question, or you asked the question of my knowledge avatar, then it will go away and think for a few seconds and come back. It's not immediate. Like we're talking now, we can talk to each other, we can banter, and we can swap from one to the other. It's not ready yet. It's not ready yet. As Susie said, a couple of years down the road, and you said, Joe, a couple of years down the road, this is going to be a different ballgame. But for now, we're in charge. And the other thing about just with a photograph, you can create a video avatar. I'm just going to put this there just to think about.
Yeah, and
with a photograph.
Sorry, go on.
With a photo, you can create a video avatar of somebody who's died.
Wow.
And this is a great ethical problem, insofar as you can, if you've got the photograph and you've got permission of the estate, you can bring somebody back to life. Yeah.
Cool. This is Black Mirror stuff now, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it would be. But there is a YouTuber who, this is unfortunately true. 6 years ago, a couple's son died. And the way that they found to cope was to actually create their own avatar. Now, originally, that was for their own purposes. And so they could listen to their son anytime that they liked. And then as things happen, word gets out and friends get to know. And then the media gets to know. And there was one broadcast on YouTube by a YouTube journalist interviewing the boy, or the avatar of the boy. And that's where it gets very dark. Yeah, somebody scripted the answers, and you're actually talking to somebody who died 6 years ago. So there is a dark side to this, as there is to everything. But if we look on the positive side, there are so many possibilities.
There is, and I think that's all you can do, because otherwise you get, when you're down a rabbit hole overthinker like me, then I get it on both sides. I despair in 50 years' time I won't be here, but I despair of what governments and forces and greedy, manipulating, the six organizations that control the planet, basically, what they're going to do with it. That scares me. But all I can do is there's a great thing, just to finish off with, coming up from Stephen Bartlett, Diary of a CEO, and he's got 2 different brain specialists on there who are looking, and it's a very, very good one to watch. And actually interesting, it's damaging our kids. We're not using our brains enough. Well, that's a problem with the bloody human being. What we should be using is using ChatGPT Plus or Claude or Gemini or whatever, any of these things, HeyGen, all of these things to supplement what we're doing. I can get 3 times as much work done. I can develop ideas that I never could before. Time saving, but I use it ethically, responsibly. There'll be people who go, well, why do you almost treat it like a colleague and type to it as a colleague or speak to her, Siobhan, as a colleague? That's just mental. That's just like a bit weird. Like, it's a bit Freudian. And I don't care what you think. It's helping me to get a message out there, tell my story to get out there. So all I can do is use it ethically. All I can do is build a community of like-minded individuals and use it ethically. What everybody else is going to do is what human beings have always done. And I don't want to get heavy on that, but that's all we can do. I think there's just so many things that it can do to, and to bring it back into the live streaming, being able to use the introductions in the future. Stephen's introduction there in German. I will in 5 years' time, I'll be going out to not just 50 potential platforms. I'm going out to 50 countries across the globe simultaneously, and I'll be speaking in English, or the best English I've got, or pretending I can speak a little bit of Irish, a little bit of German, a little bit of French. It will go out. It will go out as things that fluent to all of those locations. The questions and the chat coming back in will be in Urdu or Bengali or French. It will simulcast. It will simultaneously, translate it for me. I'll be able to go back, and that's how we're going to be able to use it to connect the world. And we go back to the very fundamental of human being is we want to be connected. That's why people watch live, because they want to have those things up. And we have never been more connected in a world, but we're more disconnected as human beings. And I see this, if it's used properly, being able to do it. 100%. Susie and Stephen, I'd like you to finish off. Susie, give us your final thoughts before we wrap up.
The thing that I want to finish up with is something that, Stephen, that you said, and this is what I love about the approach that you have towards this, is you said when you're doing your live streaming show, you can be on there and you can be chatting away and you can say, right, now here's my avatar who's going to share a little bit about ABC. So I think what that does is that continues to help you connect genuinely and authentically with your audience, because you're telling them, guys, this isn't me, this is my avatar, but the information is still extremely valuable, what it's going to tell you. You're being open and upfront about that. And I think if you learn to do that well in your show, then I think people will not get thrown. Whereas if they find out down the track that it's been not you but your avatar, I think that would bring a different aspect. But I'm excited about it. I can't wait to see where we're going with all this. And I think the opportunities that it opens up is just it just blows my mind. And I'm really looking forward to where it's going to go and what it's going to give us.
Absolutely. And just before I bring Stephen in to finish off, Natasha Hughes. Natasha is one of the best coaches I've ever come across in my whole life. And she is a specialist in emotional intelligence, EQ. And she says that, agree, Susie, emotional connection is such a key part of empathy. And it's hard to create that through an avatar alone. But I do believe a combination of both can lead to a smarter way of working to truly build deeper connections and stronger relationship and emotional intelligence skills. Authenticity matters, including being open about our failures, as we've seen tonight, and that's what makes real life interactions irreplaceable. Natasha,
100%. Yeah.
Stephen, finish us off with your thoughts, mate.
Right. Okay. It's been a pleasure to broadcast with you both. I've looked forward to it all week, and it's been, just the best. I think in terms of ChatGPT, as Susie said earlier, it's the best, and you said too, it's the best research system you could have. Whereas we used to write things down, we don't need to do that anymore. If you've got a question, you go to ChatGPT, ask the right question, and you'll get an answer. If you ask me what's the best, how to be successful on YouTube, I get a pad and I write down 5 answers. If I go to ChatGPT, I get about 30 answers and I can pick 5. That's the difference. As far as video avatars are concerned, we are at the stage of perfection. Just a little advert. Well, no, not too much. I mentioned it to Susie earlier. It costs about $25 a month to get involved in video AI. That's all. In terms of your marketing budget, it's a very small part, and you could do it tomorrow.
Cool.
That's
Amazing.
that was
Brilliant. Tonight, Stephen, Susie, thank you very much. Tonight, we've seen what happens when chatbots, avatars, and automation join a live stream. We've seen that. We've seen what happens when technology just decides it ain't going to play with you. It's got nothing to do with avatars. That's just technology. But it's live, and it's that connection that we have. Done right, for me, they boost engagement and they and free you up to connect and do that engagement that you want. Done wrong, they can feel very gimmicky, and we're not quite there yet. The truth, the future is hybrid. AI doing the heavy lifting, as Steve has just said, humans doing the connecting, as Natasha said. There we go. Next week, we wrap up this 4-part series with a title of episode 4 is Stop Guessing and Start Knowing. And we'll have the OneStream Live Chief Operating Officer, Bilal Chowdhury. I love it when Bilal comes on. He's just full of everything. And he's going to join myself and Susie to share OneStream Live as a company, as a platform's vision for AI integration and live streaming, and how creators can future-proof themselves. But for tonight, thank you to Stephen Healey.
Thank you, Stephen. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you both.
Thank you to Susie, and an ungodly time of the morning in Australia, and look forward to 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. We are back on for the day 2 of your expo. And remember, live streaming isn't about replacing humans. It's about amplifying them. So we will see you next Tuesday. I'm going to try and play this out for the last time. If not, I'll do the manual thing of bringing a thumbnail in, a bit of music, and then closing down. This is live. It's the Big Joe Show, and anything could happen. See you soon. No.
Or not happen.
Or not. Or not. So therefore, we do what I said. We'll bring in this, and then we'll. In fact, I'm going to do it the reverse way. I'm going to. I love this wee bit of music we've got for this month. So here we go. We'll see you all soon. Dance.